So I've seen it all happen once, and I thought I'd tell you the story here. I've seen a man come running out, running after the UPS truck, catches the UPS guy. Hey man, you got anything for me? UPS guy turns around and goes, yeah, advice, and lots of it. Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance, where I show you how to make the most likely repairs you'll need to make in your lifetime. If you'd like to get the latest videos, subscribe and then hit the little bell icon right at the subscribe button, and it'll notify you of any new videos when they're released for you. Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance, up on the roof, and after all these preventative maintenance to try to prevent as many problems as possible, prevent as many call-outs, as many callbacks as possible. And what I'm focusing on in this journey is the electrical side of things. So I'm pulling all the disconnects. Once, if your coils are clean and your air filters are changed regularly, this is probably the next most important step. And I should also mention vacuuming out the condensate drains. Condensate drains can cause you a lot of problems with water leaks and backups and stuff like that, and everything that happens from water intrusion. But that's a separate story. I have lots of videos on that. You can search my channel for those. But today we're focusing on the electrical side, and it's just a nice, beautiful, cool day. Major difference. It's like 77 degrees right now versus doing this is February. So my advice, if you're in a hot area, is start getting after your air conditions right around Valentine's Day, or right just after Valentine's Day. When you spray pre-emergent like weed killer, it's a good idea to do that after Valentine's Day. Well, this is the same. Kind of going after the preventative maintenance on your ACs. It's going to spare you a lot, especially in hot areas like Palm Springs, California, Arizona, even other areas of California. Now, it's going to be weather permitting, so if you've got a rainy season, it's going to be difficult to get after this. But everything you can do on each building, knocking it out, is going to discharge the capacitor. Capacitor holds a charge even after the power is disconnected. But knocking this out, one building at a time and going through, it just means that maybe that building is not going to call you off on it and able to get after everything. Preventative maintenance puts the time schedule on your schedule rather than getting interrupted from everything. So if you're in building maintenance and you're tired of getting called off on everything else and you want to simplify your life, go after the preventative maintenance. Get it on a schedule, get it done. It's going to make your life way easier in that you won't be getting constantly interrupted. My advice on capacitors is to go with, if you have Supco capacitors, is little by little change them out to a different brand. I don't mean to bash on Supco. I actually like Supco for these capacitors. I actually like these particular hard start capacitors. Hard start kits. I might change this one. It's got kind of a gnarly thing in the side, but their capacitors, even on brand new Goodman units. If I had a Goodman unit for my house, probably the first thing I would do is change the capacitor to, right now I kind of like Titan Pros. So far, good experience. I'm still in the testing phase of that experience, but I know what I've been through with Supco. Another thing to watch for is if your compressor has been replaced at some point, like this one. This compressor, actually, most compressors don't tell you on the compressor what's required, but this one does, and this one requires a 45. So this one, I think, maybe has a 45. Let's take a look. And again, a capacitor holds a charge in it after the power is disconnected. So hold your insulated handle screwdriver by the insulated portion only, and use the metal portion to bridge the leads across common and Herm and across the fan cap too. Just for safety, it cancels out any charge that's held in there, and it's just a good safety practice. One small step to keep you alive. Yeah, this is a 45.5, so we're going to test this up. Now, for testing, what you need if you're going to do air condition maintenance, or if it's for your house, you're going to need a tester that tests microfarads. That's the MFD setting. or sometimes it's a little circle with a line. I'll have to try to find a piece of film or something to show that capacitance setting. It's a C with a horizontal line. We're just going to go one lead each side, and this is a 45.5, and we're looking for a 45, or this is the 5 side, so we got 4.91, so that's good. And on the 45 side, we got 42.6, so it's a little weak. It's not real bad. 45 would be, wow, it's like right there. I'm going to hold off on replacing it. This one, if you're in traditional AC, you'll be letting your customer know that your capacitor looks a little weak, but it's still pretty close to the tolerances. The tolerance is plus or minus 5%. So for a 40 microfarad capacitor, that would be 2. So 42 or, 40. For a 40, it would be 2. And for a 45, it would be 2.25. So we were at 2.25 would be 42.75 would be okay. So recheck that. 42.75 would be okay. And we've got 42.6, so it's 0.15 weak. It's just barely anything. So I'm gonna leave this alone. I'm actually gonna, got some Titan Pros on order for the 45 size. So I might come back and actually replace this one when I get those Titan Pros in. I don't have any right now, so putting my Herm on yellow. Putting my yellow wire on Herm. That's a start wire to the compressor. And then there's all of the commons. So I'll probably come back and change this one out, or just monitor it. It's actually, you know, it's just barely weak. So let's see, where'd my fan go? Fan cap is here. My hard start kit. I was going to replace the hard start kit because it's got that weird mark and a burn mark in there. Oh shoot. I think I forgot to bring any hard start kit. Yes, I did. I didn't forget. Well, I guess I'll leave this hard start kit for now and test it, and as long as everything works okay, I can change it at the same time that I change to the Titan Pro, and that way everything's new in that way instead. Here's the hard start. I think that makes more sense actually. That one has a loose connection on this side, so I'm just going to squeeze that down just a little bit. Don't want to squeeze it too much or it'll make it really hard to get on there. There it is. All right. Okay, and this one had a little come on, buddy. Go. And now our fan. Now this one has a brown and white wire, and the brown and white wire links to the common side of the capacitor. So this one doesn't need a jumper wire to the capacitor. all this electrical tape is kind of unnecessary, but oh, you know what we didn't do is test this capacitor. Getting ahead. I don't know how I forgot to do that, but I did. Let's give that the test. .65, so it's also a tiny bit weak. And what we could do is run the fan. I can't reach it, so I'll just change this one out now to a Titan Pro. It's not super weak. Again, you know, I'd be recommending to your customer that this particular capacitor is a 5 microfarad. It's kind of less than $5. It's going to be preventing the call out. So, in my opinion, that's well worth it. There we go, nice and tight. There's our Titan Pro 5 capacitor. If you're wondering, is it okay to set capacitors on their side like that or upside down? Yes, it is. Manufacturers do it all the time. You'll find them on indoor blower wheels upside down. You'll find them on DuraGuard air conditioner units set sideways. So it is okay. And now I'll plug this one back in and we'll give it a test. Tracing my conduit down. I found my unit. Plug it in. Secure the cover. Yeah, we're ready to test it out. Here it goes. Pushing the contactor in. Nice, unit's nice and cold. That's good to go. One other thing I should check is the fan baffle screws. Make sure everything's in order up here. Everything's holding. That can really cause you a no-call cool as well. If that fan baffle falls off into the fan blades, it's no fun. All right, and another thing is the wires on top could be cleaned up. You could cut them and cap them. I'm focusing on this right now, this year. Maybe another round, another time, I'll focus on that. Obviously, you have the time that you have, so you're going to have to make things the best you can with the time that you have to prevent the most problems. So I'm going after what's most effective for me. I've actually seen circuit breakers melt because of bad capacitors, so that's why I am focusing and determined on this now. So this is a priority for me, is making sure these capacitors are good. You got to choose your battles. You can't always do everything that you want to do. Make it as good as you can, you know. One thing I wanted to do is to make it more likely for anyone else that's coming to this unit to know the correct size, is to go ahead and write in the unit 45/5. 45/5. Oh gosh, the wire was in my way. 45/5. Okay. This just makes it more likely that anyone else is not accidentally gonna install the wrong capacitor. Of course, somebody's probably gonna be like, 455, what's that? But it's a different story. You can do what you can do. Anyway, it just makes it more likely that any tech, because a lot of people won't know to look on the compressor, because most manufacturers do not list the correct size capacitor on the compressor, which in my opinion they should start. And the original manufacturer should label like original manufacturer size or original cap size, something like that. And then if any change is made, you could update it, similar to what I'm doing on the unit or in the unit. to just make it safer, better, more likely for the next guy. Calculating what size is actually required is kind of tricky. There is a formula for it, but oh, this one's got a start kit. It's a 3-wire start kit on this one, and wow, we got some stuff going on here. We got a separate 5. It's been secured with electrical tape, and here's our. This should be a 40. I can't see it because this is why I like to write it inside. You know, if you do that, it'll make it just a lot easier for the next guy to be able to see what's going on. It's like a different brand capacitor, maybe a Mars. A quick search on my YouTube channel of whatever your maintenance needs are, you should find a bunch of different material that'll be helpful to your maintenance needs. My daughter had been born. Such a precious gift from above. And now I will guide you and train in the way you must go.
praise, praise